What's up, everybody? I'm back here with my boy Tanner, and we're gonna talk a little bit about baseball and kind of just our childhood, a little bit how we met playing ball,
Yes, sir.
and then what you're doing now for work.
Cool.
So, getting started here. We met each other. I think 10, right? We were on the Reds.
Yeah.
Is that the team my dad coached?
I believe so. I think I was like 11, maybe. I was a little older, but I played down young because of my age.
Right.
So,
Right.
however, that kind of worked out back in the day.
The only reason why I think I was 10, and like because we're 8 months apart, so I think that solved it right there. But
Yeah.
I went to my teacher's wedding in 3rd grade. She invited all of us, Mrs. Banky, and it was Miss Plew. Like first semester was Miss Plew, second semester Miss Banky. And I remember missing one of our games because of the wedding.
Mhm.
And I think like you hit a home run that game or something because my dad was texting my mom during the wedding. So I remember being a teammate with you during that
Yeah.
time. So I think that's just kind of 10, 11.
Yeah.
But that's
Those are-
crazy.
Those
So
are the good times in sports.
I mean, and that was cool too because like you said, like everyone kind of played at their age, and then you had the like two years in each bracket, right? Mustang
Right.
had 2, so like you got to play with a group that was older than you for a year, and then
Yeah.
you became the older guy. And you got to see the next generation behind
Yeah,
you. So
that
we
was-
gotta.
That was good. And
So-
seeing now what sports are now in that little age group is so totally different. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not like it's more travel ball now.
Right.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
When we said we played travel ball back then, it was like, really?
Yeah, you're good.
You guys play travel ball? Now everyone can. No, not that to mean anything, but there's a lot of travel ball.
It's
now.
more travel ball than there is at the complex.
Yeah.
So
Wow, I haven't been to the complex in years.
same old thing.
And I used to, oh my gosh, I just started chewing sunflower seeds again. And I totally remembered the David's, what was it, the nacho cheese? Remember the
those are
nacho cheese
good
ones? They don't even sell them. You have to go on Amazon to get them.
Really?
I just ordered a pack, like the 8-ounce ones, the
Yeah.
small ones, and it's like $10 for that.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll
That's
let
pretty-
you know. That's
yeah,
actually
pretty
funny.
good.
That just came to my mind. Yeah, and then the sour belts.
Oh yeah, I just remember getting like a foul ball and you get a little ticket and you get a little Coke out. there or something like that.
Yes, all the tickets. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's such good times, man. Wow, and just all the guys we got to play with, the Bowers and
It's crazy to see now, like the people that you grow up with and see them through college, and then actually now in the big leagues it's especially from our valley out here in Santa Clarita. It's a nest of just
dude, definitely.
players. So it's cool.
Just last night, the day that we're filming this, last night was Game 1 of the World Series,
Mhm.
and and Tyler Glasnow, boy, we went to high school, pitched last
it's
night.
crazy. I was actually telling my parents I played baseball in high school and stuff like that, and I was on a travel ball team. We're called the Santa Clarita Coasters,
Mhm.
and we had this kid, come up, and he wasn't very tall, long hair, and wasn't very good, and said he could pitch. He was kind of all over the map. Said he could play third base, couldn't play third base, and it ended up being Tyler Glasnow.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like, what? You never know. You can't write off anybody anymore, And he was maybe 5'8", and now he's 6'9", and he throws 102, and he's striking out the Dodgers.
He's like the little mini Randy Johnson.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. And the cool thing about it is the guy's humble, and he knows where he comes from, and he knows his roots, and he never shines off the people that he played with. So that's kind of cool to see. Is he knows what he's coming from.
You want to hear a funny story about Tyler? So, freshman year at Hart, I came in from my private school, and I thought that school would be easy in terms of classes coming from a private school, and I definitely was not up to par with like the learning curriculum curves. I think we were off in terms, but anyways, I just coasted too. I was really lazy, and so I got to a point where I was so late to all my classes, and my teachers were so disappointed in my grades that they told my mom that she had to come and walk me to each one of my counselor, Mrs. Kanist at Hart, made me walk me to each of my classes. And my very first period, I guess it was second period because it was freshman year, was English, and I had Tyler in the class. And Miss Coe's classes had like the seats in half where you like had to face each other.
Mhm.
And so Tyler was like the row, like right to my left, but like out against the wall. So we faced each other. And my mom came in once, and he did either like the bow chicka wow wow or something like that. And I was hitting on my mom when she came in. It was just hilarious because him and Hunter Hyman were just like, if you had one of them in your class, it was hilarious. And yeah, dude, like you said, he had a lot of raw, just like talent and stuff, but it was kind of just very unaimed, and he was very
kind of who I am, and this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and it translated on the field, and
Absolutely.
between that, a nice growth spurt and some determination, he's out here doing it. So I gotta go walk through the complex and just look at all the billboards on the walls again, and look at all the names
it's
again.
Crazy. It's crazy
like
to see that.
2004 and like 2001 tournament teams.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
what you lived for back then.
So I got to get pretty close to your family. Actually, we used to go to that one spot. You'd know the name. That little restaurant over where the 7-Eleven was, right across the way from Hart Park.
Yeah,
and we'd always say it was someone's freaking birthday.
Yeah, hey, my dad still does that every single time. He's 50 years old and he's still it's someone's birthday because he wants that celebration.
Yeah, it was like us and the Buffkins. I think would be the ones that always go.
Yep, Cody's
that
doing
is
well too.
So funny. I follow Cody and Johnny on Instagram. They both look like they're doing well, and I ran into them. I think it was last summer. Maybe it was 2 summers ago now. COVID's been so long. At the country show in Central Park. The Boots.
Yeah, Boots and Brews.
Boots and Brews. Yeah, I ran into them there. Were you there too? Did we run into you?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. It's been so.
I hadn't seen so many people in Santa Clarita, and
Yeah.
I went there, and I was like, "Here's everyone I haven't seen in the 6 years I've been back from Arizona."
Yeah,
it's one of those things. But
good.
So how's Jesse? How's your mom? How's Ryan?
Good, man. Just still working. He owns his own business still. Is doing trucking, and my mom's doing well. We just redid our whole inside of their house,
Sweet
kitchen, stuff like that. And Ryan, he's had a story, man.
Tell me a little about it.
So he graduated from Valencia in 2016. I coached him in his high school career, and he got to varsity, and there was only 2 people that had scholarships. It was himself and another guy who went to Cal Poly Slow.
Okay.
Ryan had a scholarship to pitch at Westmont in Santa Barbara.
Nice school.
Went up there. Just things didn't work out. It was just told him stuff and just wasn't a good fit, which was fine. Bounced back to Mission College. Ryan's super smart, so he got a double AA. He had Chicano studies in biology. He wants to be a doctor.
Nice.
But then he broke his back, working out the wrong way.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, so kind of had a falter there. He was throwing like 84, 85. So
wow.
I started researching about what Trevor Bauer's doing. Trevor Bauer's doing this driveline thing, this weighted ball thing. Personally, for me, I've never experienced that because back when I played, there was no such thing as a weighted ball. It was, you throw a heavy ball maybe to warm up a couple times, and then you just throw a regular ball.
Towards the end, you had the gyro balls.
Yeah, but it wasn't like an experiment, right? So Ryan did his thing, and he went up to Seattle. And he went there for 6 months. He basically quit school. He quit everything else. They fixed his back. He throws 94. And he's actually on a full ride scholarship to Arkansas Tech. It's a Division II school up in Arkansas, and he's doing really well. And last year he never got. So this kid has never been in the limelight. He's never had a chance. He's keeps pushing. Coach is saying that he doesn't throw hard enough. He's not determined. He's not very good. And last year it hit. And this is a true story. We're sitting in Minute Maid in Houston at the Astro Stadium, and to see him run onto the field to take the pitch as the guy, I was in tears because it's just so much the hard work and dedication this kid puts in every single day, and the lack of accountability that people say that he doesn't have. He's shoving, and it's awesome to see. And the Texas Rangers just reached out to him last week to throw a bullpen, and he's living it up. And he wants to be a doctor, and he wants to do it, but he's going to take baseball as far as he can,
as you should.
And that's kind of not me and his older brother, but it's just to kids everywhere. It's you don't give up on your dream.
Nothing. And you mentioned something earlier to me, which I don't really correlate it often, but like I was talking about just things that I want to do now, and we're correlating. It's just that mindset of an athlete. You can tell when an athlete, played a sport at a competitive level by what they do on the outside. And I guess when I look at it, I treat it like I would want to be, the best at it, or get hired, or to get drafted, whatever it be. Ever since I've known your brother, he's been a hard worker, man. I mean, in the cages, throwing, and the moment I at least saw him start throwing gas, I could see it in his face. Like, I got the juice.
6'4", 215.
Dude, congrats, Ryan. That's pretty cool. So Arkansas Tech.
Yeah, Arkansas Tech. He's a wonder boy, and it was cool because I never had, I have an older brother, half brother, never played sports. Jesse never really played, and for me to try to get him out on a platform to where he could be suitable. Yeah, he had a lot of D1 offers, or 2 or 3, but they weren't giving a lot of money. And we're going back and forth, and I tell him, hey man, you got to go where you're going to play, and you got to go where they're going to give you the most money. Yeah, our parents are not going to pay for you if you go to this school. and you can be the dude there.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to be the dude. If you go to USC, you're not going to be the dude. But if you go to Arkansas Tech, you can be the dude.
You can be the dude.
And I think that he made a good choice. And this year, because of COVID, the summer ball wasn't a thing. But he got picked up. He played in Louisiana, and we met some fantastic people in Louisiana. And it was the most humbling experience of how they treat people in the South, how we were treated, and it was all open. And he had a hell of a time. And I just can't wait for him. This is his senior year.
That's so cool, man.
This is finally
Ryan.
This is finally it. So,
dude, okay, man, and that's something too. Is just like that the risks that you take. I mean, will set you up for your biggest dreams if you're willing to take them.
Absolutely.
And some people, just that thought of it and that daunting thought, that hesitation that they take. It's like an NBA guy when they go to take that wide open three. They take that hesitation and they go take it, and it's like, dude, odds are you're gonna break that shot.
Yeah.
So, chasing the big leagues. So let's talk a little bit about the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
You're a Reds fan.
Yeah, it's been very, very, very hard in the last couple of years, but we made the playoff. I guess the wild card, but
okay.
I think we're almost there. If our boy Bauer stays, I'm not too sure, man. I don't know. I think he might go to San Diego.
Dude, Trevor Bauer, man. Talk about a guy that stuck to it. He, I told you before we started rolling here, that was one of the dudes that if it was cold outside, you didn't want inside pitches from him because you wore one from him. It was like, Trevor, God, dude. And so Connor Gorelick told me this story. Connor told me the story of his first batter that he faced against, or the first home run agast him at UCLA. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
Or the
I do remember that story.
Basically, the dude, right? The guy that you're just talking about, your brother, right? He's the dude. He went to UCLA. He's the dude. And the dude ropes it.
Yeah.
Got his home plate, looks at Trevor and goes, "Welcome to D1, bitch."
Wow.
It's like,
Trevor probably didn't like that.
No, but look at Trevor now. You know what I mean?
And it's funny to think back and people say that, he was strange, he got picked on, this and that. And I was there. I watched it, and the guy worked so hard. And he used to go to Meadows Park and throw against the fence, and people get kicked off, and he would wear baseball pants to school. I mean, you wear baseball pants to high school, you're going to get picked on, but he loved the game so much. His dad worked in New Mexico and didn't have a lot of money, and he would make these weird mechanical tools that made Trevor throw. And back when you're 15 years old, you're like, whatever, dude, like you're never going to make it. And it's just, that goes to show you the hard work. Sometimes the hard work doesn't pay off, right? But for that guy and knowing he's an engineer and knowing how to throw a pitch and seeing where he is now, obviously it's not about the money, but being on that platform, if you're a sports fan, is awesome to see.
And he's got just such a good character to him, right? Regardless on if he doesn't like that he chucked the ball into center field or whatever the antics are and the rhetoric, the dude at his core is a great guy. And his show, what's the show again called? I'm sorry.
Momentum on YouTube, and it's cool because it's like a personal vlog.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're there with him,
hanging out with Trevor.
And I think that's kind of cool because I always like to see what's behind the scenes.
Right.
And he's in like eating breakfast, or he's going on the bus.
Right.
Or, he's interacting with players.
Yeah, and you're a lot closer to him than I was, but to hang out with him, like I've been hanging out with him, right, and playing at Hart Parks and over at the Grelick's house and stuff, and that's what it's like. It's like having a plate of bacon and eggs, hanging out with the boys, and then you're seeing it on the camera, but he's now who he is.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a cool thing.
Blessings to guys that worked hard and were able to do that. So that's cool. Another dude that I played with, you played too, and also went to Hart and played for the team that I root for, was Trevor Brown. Played backup catcher for Posey there in the Giants for a while, and his first at bat was that gap shot double. Yeah,
it's funny you say that because so Cody Buffkin, one of my best friend probably growing up, and he lived in Circle J, and he had a roommate named Chris Talley. Chris Talley played for the Rays organization, but knew Trevor. And we were at Buffalo Wild Wings one night, and he's like, we're watching the game, and he's like, "Hey, Trev's getting a pinch hit. It's bottom of the ninth, and he hits the double in the wall, right?" We look at each other, and he goes, "Do you want to go to San Diego right now for tomorrow's game?" I said, "Absolutely."
Okay.
We got to my house. We drove to San Diego. We watched him play, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see that. And Trev's doing right. He just got married, and he's been up to Castaic a couple times, talking to the kids,
launching a business,
trying to do business kind of thing. And now he's in real estate, and I heard that, how I don't know if this is right, but a big leaguer did tell me this about like a bee accident, and that's how he can't play anymore. He was catching, and a bee came in and it messed up his equilibrium.
Oh wow!
And that's how he couldn't catch anymore.
I didn't know that. To be honest with you, I haven't caught
I'm
up
not too sure if that's real, but that's what I heard. But I mean, the Giants liked him.
No, I know they did, because we knew we were moving Posey around, and we've been looking for. I mean, we had Austin, what's his face, come in. We don't have a good backup for Posey, and he's our utility guy. Baseball's changed. Speaking of utility guy and moving positions,
I was just talking to the kids today. Blows my mind is the bunt's not even in anymore. You don't even bunt anymore. Dude, it's like a bush league rule, I guess.
My biggest trophy that I got from playing travel sports, we were in the championship game for the Santa Clarita Storm. I think we're in Temecula, and it was a championship game, and I was up, and I don't know if it was Nick Rivas or Christian Lopes on third, but it was 1 or 2 outs, and championship bottom of the sixth, right? And we did a suicide squeeze to win the game. Put it right on the line, and they called me bunt master after that. And every time we did bunt practice, I was the one, you know what I mean? And that we play over the line, slap shot.
It's like an unwritten rule. It's crazy because I seen like the Dodgers last series with the Braves is both teams. Mookie Betts gets on second base, and then you don't push him in or you don't drag.
There's no outs, and there's a guy up there, and they'll swing for their analytical fence, and it's all
about analytics and all that. So
so my pride was hurt when I kind of decided, because I wasn't getting my grades right and I wasn't going to play for Ozella and Hart, that I knew a few people that if I just, worked away for 3 or 4 years, I'd find some type of showcase and get in somewhere, do something, even if I have to go back to some community college and play for many, many years. And if that was the end of the road, then that was it. But going back to, I just spaced. But yeah, playing second base, was my main position. I should have never kept trying to pitch through high school. I had a cool circle change and a few different curveballs, but that was just for fun, man. I like closing. I like being like a Mariano Rivera. Right. But I should have just played second, had fun with it. But my pride was hurt because just multiple things, grades, and then not being able to kind of commit to what I needed to get done, and then everyone hitting growth spurts and I wasn't, and I kind of was in my own head, and I'd already lost confidence 2 or 3 years before because of Freddie Rivas coaching me, just personal things, and so it was pretty weird. So when I got injured outside of the high school team trying to do it on my own, I kind of just tried to cover my pride as fast as possible, and I picked up firefighting, and because my uncle had done it and it was something hands-on, and I can kind of put just an alpha mentality towards it and just get it done. Make a good living on it and cover whatever mistake that I made in my life. And took 6 or 7 years off of not watching baseball, maybe even like 8. No joke, just completely abandoned it. And when I came back to it, I didn't know 90% of the people on rosters. All the OGs were gone. The guys that were coming up were still half of them in the leagues, half of them weren't. And then it was just a plethora of people that I didn't know. And so I've been slowly getting back to the game. But the one thing in the analytics was just being a second baseman, watching the guy play over the bag, and then shortstop playing third, and third playing like a left field shallow, and then left and center. And you're just like,
I don't regret. I don't like that. I just like playing straight up.
I like playing straight up too. Do you guys play analytically over there in Castaic?
No, man. I'm an old school kind of guy. I like the bunt. My favorite, growing up was like Mike Scioscia. He used to bunt a lot. And this week we got to score runs to win. You know what I'm saying?
Hitting runs and squeezes,
dragging, double steals. A lot of things like that. So I don't believe in all that analytics stuff.
Games change. Yeah, so I guess going back, I'm going to grab this right here. Wearing my jersey, my boy Griffey. I got my, here we go. My pride and joy. My awesome. Ken Griffey Jr. autograph bat my dad got me for my birthday.
That's gonna be a pretty good expense here.
Yeah, soon. Right? I know, boy. But I want to get a whole collection. I had like a Vladimir Guerrero bat and stuff, and times got tough, and I sold a few things. Yeah. And so now that I know, like, all right, I'm keep these, right? I want to build a room of like jerseys and stuff. And so you told me what you tell them what you got at Griffey's.
My grandmother, she passed away last year, but she was a very big supporter of mine, and she would come to my games, and she'd be like, all right, if you get a home run however far it was, That's how much money you get.
Mm.
You know, I'm like, okay, well, being 12 years old, you know, he hit a home run. It's probably 125 feet maybe, you know, and I would get the wallet the next day and it had cash in it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a card shop down the street from our house, or right in front of our house. And for my birthday, I believe it was, she bought me this signed Ken Griffey Jr. Game Worn jersey. And I still have it. And it's boxed up now because I'm getting ready to move here. And, you know, it was funny we bring that up because I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday and I was like, hey, I got one piece. You can do the whole house, whatever you want. I don't care what it is. But I got one piece and it's going in where I want to put it.
Yep.
And she's like, what is it? I said, it's a signed jersey. And she looks at me and she's just like, what jersey? Did you wear it? And I go, no, the greatest baseball player in the world wore it. And she has no idea who it is. But she's like, you're not going to hang up all your jerseys that you want. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I just want this one jersey. And it's sentimental for me because my grandma bought it for me. But
right.
That guy, that figure is, and I named my dog after him. You know, his name's Griffey. He's a golden retriever.
Hey.
So
you said card shop. Was that Cards and Comics? I know that was around the corner from your house.
It was right next to Don Cuco's. I forgot what his name is.
Oh.
The guy's name was Ralph, though.
I know that
Big
spot.
League Sports or something like that. I don't even remember. Yeah. I used literally every day I'd get home from Wiley Canyon or Plaza Rita, and I would literally walk over there and I'd have all my money in my piggy bank or whatever, and I'd go buy a card.
Yep.
Or I'd just sit there and listen to these old guys talk.
Yeah.
And it's so much. You look back at it now and you're just like, man, I gained so much experience when I was 12 years old. My parents let me sit at a card shop with this man.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, that's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So these guys, I mean, my dad would always ask me, like, how do you know what their batting average is right now? Like, what their batting average was last year. It's like, well, spent a lot of time looking at those cards.
Yeah. My mom's like, man, if you could do that with your grades, I mean, you'd be perfect.
Oh,
you know
my
what?
gosh. It's not baseball. Like, right? Come on. My dad would say the same thing. My dream, so like the bat, I would love to have something game worn, right? But what I would love to do is LeBron James. He's my favorite basketball player. Right. He came out with the kind of like how Jordan did back in the day, the Nike crossover shoe, and he had the Griffies.
Wow.
You saw those?
Yeah, I did see those.
And they got the Mariners. So because I'm just super analytical and I section everything off in my mind, I thought, how cool would it be to get a pair of shoes and then go take the left one, because Griffey's a lefty, and go have Griffey sign it, and then go take right-handed LeBron and go have him sign his copy, and then I'd have those on the shelf one day back, my two favorite guys. And there's a picture of them together when LeBron was on the Cleveland Cavs in his first 7 years there, and Griffey was on his back end. He might have even been on Chicago White Sox that single year before he went over to Seattle again, but he was there for a season or two, and they met each other shaking hands. I want to take that picture and get that picture autographed too.
You should try to do that. All
right, so more on the big leagues here. We kind of talk about the Dodgers a little bit, and Tyler pitching in Game 1 last night. So I was never a Dodgers fan growing up.
I'm still not.
I'm not. I've always gone to the games because it's the local team. Anaheim's just a little bit further of a drive. I was the kid that, because we played Heart League growing up, so you're on all these different season teams.
Right.
Odds are whoever they played that night, you had been on those teams before. Right. So I'd go grab the jersey of whoever they're playing that had my name on the back, and I'd go sit there. And at the time, my dad's company had season tickets, and it was right there on third baseline. And so I'm in the middle of just a blue blob on home base side, right behind the dugout, and I'm always in like my Griffey jersey when they play the Reds, or what would it be. And I don't know, just being a pitcher at a young age and understanding, like, dude, the moment they lost Kevin Brown, Chan-Ho Park, Hideo Nomo, that was it.
Yeah, a lot of these people probably don't even know who that is.
No, probably not. but that was the end of the pitching era for the Dodgers. I mean, they had Gagne at that closing position at one point. They brought some guys in and out.
Yeah, Trevor has a podcast, like I told you, it's Momentum, but it's a different, they're actually sitting down. It's Trevor with Eric Gagne.
Oh, but I missed that one, Trevor. Sorry.
Yeah, it's him and Eric Gagne, and I think it's the A's starter. He's from Australia.
Okay.
And then the producer of Bull Durham is there. It's a very good podcast. They're eating dinner. They're drinking. Eric Gagne's drinking whiskey, and they're getting into it. And it's cool because they're out of their kind of they're light, and you could Eric Gagne's holding how he used to throw his pitches, and to me that's like, oh, I'm gonna grab a baseball right now and see if I can throw a pitch.
Let me see that screen real quick. Zoom in.
So he's throwing his circle change of how it does it and how blisters happen. So for fans that kind of like that kind of stuff, I mean, I indulge in that, and I sit there and just zoom out and see that. So,
I'm gonna be checking that one back out. Go check out Momentum and his side project on that. That's dude. So wow, that's Eric Gagne. He was I had the shirt they sold, the one with the little blue hair coming off.
They talk about that, actually. It's funny. They talk about it. Trevor goes, I used to come watch you pitch, and I had that white shirt with the mustache.
Yes.
And he goes, oh my God. He goes, when I used to go to Canada, he goes, 40,000 people were here for me because he's from Canada.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's how funny how Canada supports the whole country like that. That's so cool, dude. Yeah, I just outside of those names I mentioned, it's just like, you guys aren't doing a good job at bringing them in. You aren't doing a good job at having the rehab staff's recovery. You guys have a horrible rotation recovery. I'm sorry, I'm slipping here. The relief recovery, horrible relief recovery. You keep every star name in the starting spots that you want.
They're a good team. Like everyone tells me, how can you not be a Dodger fan? You're from LA. I'm not a fan. They're fun to watch.
They're always fun to watch.
They're very fun to watch.
No matter what.
Very entertaining, but it's the same thing. Like I'm wearing a Cowboy shirt right now. We have one of the best. I feel like one of the best rosters this year. Things happen, but it's every year, and like it was good to see Kershaw kind of get out of that slump last night. Yeah, even though he went up against Tyler and a friend of ours, but it was good to see him come out of it, and he deserves it as a man to win. So I think they got it. I think they win in 5.
Probably. I heard them say that Kershaw, like you said, good to see him get over this, because he's not just a Hall of Fame pitcher in physicality, but they say he's also a Hall of Fame pitcher mentally. Yeah. And to have what he's done in his career, and to have this as the block, to his success, it's good. I'm a Giants fan, right? So
you don't want to see that happen.
So and that's, you said Dodgers in 5. I agree, and that's, I don't want to say it, but it's just my whole argument too. So I grew up following Griffey. It's just, and we'll agree right now that Griffey, if he never had the amount of injuries, I mean, if you add up his injury totals, he probably spent 30% of his career injured. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you take all those away and all the All-Star games he missed because he got injured 2 weeks before the game started or whatever, you take those, by stats, he would be the greatest of all time. Non-steroid, most beautiful swing man. He'd get you a RBI whenever you needed it. Yeah, and he would be selfless, like we were talking about earlier. If you needed a bunt, he'd give you that bunt. That's awesome. That stat, when he played with his dad, they hit a back-to-back home run, and that's like, you try to replicate that in any other sport, father to son back-to-back touchdown or back-to-back 3-pointers.
It's hard to even hit a home run.
LeBron's got a chance though. Maybe if he stays on a team and he decides to take a veteran minimum wherever Bronny gets drafted, and be like, all right, I'll be a vet minimum. You guys can afford me, and just for 1 year. I cost $1 million. That's it. I'm on a vet minimum, so you guys can go get another star. I'll be a star off the bench on a vet minimum for a single year. I'll groom my boy.
Even do it for no money
and get it. Now he'll probably ask for a little bit. Probably that's no vet minimum. But anyways, he has the closest shot. But Griffey, for sure. To me, is the GOAT of all time. Absolutely. And there's no. So I followed him and playing backyard baseball on the PCs back in the day, and Pablo Sanchez, Pete Wheeler. Can I score a touchdown?
The freeze ball going.
Yeah, dude, and the
I remember walking in, and my house is like 580 square feet. My mom staying at home. Dad was just getting his business started, and I had the master bedroom. My parents lived on the the couch, and I'd get home from school, and we had a big table, and we had this white, I think it was called complex or compact, big white computer, and I would jump on that thing, and I would play with Pablo, and and I would love to pick Griffey because he had that backwards hat, and he had that little swing,
and he covered the whole plate, and just heavy hands,
the big fat bat.
No fooling him.
They have it now on something. It's not even close to what it used to be.
Dude, so I mentioned earlier in the podcast here when I got injured, all the OGs, it's like, dude, the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa's, Pedro Martinez, Mariano Rivera's, Randy Johnson's, the younger Carlos Beltran. This dude's still playing, but
trying,
the Carlos Beltran of the Kansas City Royals, and Jose Batista and stuff like that. Those I lost it after that, but I followed Griffey individually, and so I went to Dodger games because it was the local team. It was fun to go to, and they were never bad, and so it was always great to go root for the teams that you wanted to. I always, every season at least, made sure to go to at least one Cincy game to watch Griffey, and and it's just I never had a team really. So my favorite player being Griffey, my second favorite player is Willie Mays. Playing second base, I probably would have chosen the outfield if I ever made it in the bigs, and they said, skill positions inside are taken by dude, put me in center field. Let's go. Like, I felt like I could be not much of a left fielder. I don't have a cannon, so I feel like I'd have more of the IQ for center field. Anyways, Griffey and Willie Mays are like my boom.
That's not a bad
no.
choices.
So to be against the Dodgers and to always kind of put jabs in, it was really easy to look at the Giants and be like, Willie Mays, and now we got Barry Bonds, and they're the rivals of the Dodgers, so I can totally get under their skin. Yeah. And so I was like 9 or 10, and I was 11. The whole transition's coming in, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna root for the Giants. And my whole argument to every Dodger fan is, in my lifetime, I'm 28, born in 1992. I have never seen the Dodgers ever win a championship.
No, I think
you guys
the
have
last
never.
one was 88.
Yeah,
and it's funny. I did a commercial.
My team's won 3.
Yeah, back in 5-6 years ago, we did a commercial up there. Adam Boyer was doing it. And our names were put on the screen at AT&T Park. I think that's what it's called.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day. And then we were on the field. I have a picture on the mound, and then the mascot came over. We got to try the World Series rings on.
Oh man!
We stayed in the locker rooms. It was a pretty cool thing to see.
Yeah, no, and the way they did it too was really fun to watch. If you like sports, losing's good for competition.
Right.
It's just like in life, every loss that you take builds you to your wins, and that's why we said athletes are good transitional hard workers. But it's just, that was such a fun ride because they did it the right way. We sucked for so long after Bonds left. Like, we sucked, and to just fix the farm system first and to go forward the right way. Them and Oakland both did it. They both kind of hit a reset button, and it's fun to watch. Yeah. And I don't know. It was really easy to watch them, and then we started doing well. We lost the World Series to the Angels, you know, but it was a really cool experience, and it wasn't, we want Bonds to get one, but oh well, it is what it is. Griffey never got one, and he's still, I believe, the greatest player of all time. Baseball's different than basketball and stuff. You
can still make the Hall of Fame.
You could be the greatest ever and never even been in a World Series game. There's so much difference to the game and outcome. But so for me, it was just, I don't know, man. Just now that the Dodgers are here, and they're
3 out of the last 4. I mean, I hate them, but come on, just win one.
No, so I told my mom last night, it was like, man, I don't like the Tampa Bay Rays really. Like, I like Tyler and I like Austin Meadows, but the rest of the team is just like, oh, I don't want to be like, oh, the Rays won. And then I definitely don't want the guys that I wanted to rival win. But at the end of the day, you just look at what they've done and how they've gotten there.
The Lakers won this year. You might as well just cap it off.
A big LA party.
Yeah.
Let COVID end after this elections, and we'll all go party on Figueroa Street, baby. Oh man, no, it is what it is, but it's fun. I started probably a season and a half ago getting back into baseball. I got on the app, the Tap Sports, like the Home Run Derby one. Yeah. I'm getting to know like all the names again, and like, oh, this guy's like on fire. This guy's an all-star. Like, oh wow, he's the new guy for the Padres. Like, man, I remember when Tony Gwynn was the guy for the Padres.
That's a long time ago.
I'm dating myself, and so it's just like, all right, cool. And I've gotten back into the swing of things, and almost all my sports I've never really taken individualism. It was mainly just Griffey and LeBron. I've always liked team sports and team aspects. So when Griffey got out of the league, it was really easy to just enjoy baseball and just watch baseball for what it is, and enjoy teams winning and losing and the storylines and career development of other players. But when you're watching one person, it's too personal. You want a random team to lose against another random team on a random night for personal reasons, and I was always like, why are you hating so much? I'm like, no, because LeBron needs this, and if they did it that way, there'd be a narrative, and he needs, and so I've always just. And it gets frustrating, especially with LeBron, where you want to make the GOAT argument, and it's got everyone else with 6-0 theories and stuff. And so I can't wait, honestly, till LeBron retires and Griffey's gone. And it's just like, all right, all of my sports are team sports. I don't have to stress, and I can really enjoy because that was like I was mentioning with the Giants. Like it was cool to watch once Griffey was gone, and I just stuck with the team. I was like, "This is my team. It's a California team."
Now you can see the whole team. Actually.
The whole team play, and you just watch the farm systems grow. You watch how the front office interacts with the team, and how the crowd helps the team throughout the seasons. And it went from a junk team to a team that believed in itself to winning a World Series and then losing the next year. Using that as motivation and coming and winning it again.
And then every even
losing
year or something,
again.
right?
It was every other for 3. Yeah. So for 6 years, we won 3 rings. So it was win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And it was cool to just be able to take a loss and be like, oh man, it wasn't like, oh, we swept or we three-peated, we doubled. It was like, you win, we're the best, and then you have to sit back and be a loser the next year and say, well, are we that good again? And do it again. And it was cool. And then to rub it into all my Dodger friends. It was great. So now it's the I guess the glamour of, I've never seen the Dodgers win one and my team wins 3. It's gone, but at least I can say numbers. Like, all right, since you've been alive, your team won 1 and mine's won 3. But
little dirt.
Obviously, all-time Dodgers have more than Giants, so they can start reaching back on that theory. and I can't say they can't, because whenever I start talking about football, my boy Steven Rawls is just Baltimore Ravens fan. He's like, we've been established as the newest team in the NFL, and we've won already this many times. Who cares about your 5 that you guys have? Because you haven't won one since the 93 season, and or whatever it was, 95 season. I'm just sitting here like, dude. No, like I've loved them since I was born. Like, so that's just the way it is. And so I argue the fact that all the ones before I was born counted. So I can't take that from the Dodger fans. So you guys get that, I guess.
You have an 88.
I'm not gonna lie though, dude. Koufax and Oral, those
team.
dudes were legendary players. Man, I enjoyed that. So Dodgers. Take it in 5.
Yeah, just take it from us.
Take it. Let Tyler and Austin get a win, get a taste of some World Series success.
Hey, you never know. They may come out and not hit this tonight or the next day or whatever. So
we've seen the craziest things this year in baseball. I mean, the 11 runs in the first inning by the Dodgers.
Yeah, then they don't hit the next day.
Yeah, we've seen the 3-1 gap like in basketball happen in baseball. I thought the Braves were going. I thought the Braves were going
for sure, but
last year
you hang a 94-mile-an-hour fastball to Cody Bellinger, it's probably not going to happen very often.
I don't like Cody,
me either,
and not in a way where it's like I hate it. It's just like it's like the same way I don't like Steph Curry. Yeah. It's like you're so clutch when you need it. Yeah. He went 0-3 one of the games, and it's just like then he hit a home run on his 4th at bat.
Now he's on the roll,
and it was like a walk off, and I was like, of course, of course,
we'll see. Interesting,
man. All right, well. Going from the pros and being kids, talking about kind of us growing up and that whole life, you're around kids now. You're around, like you helped with Ryan his senior year, got you some experience that maybe you thought maybe I could do this a little bit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, what are you doing now?
I played in high school, played baseball in high school, and this is a story where I tell my kids now, like coach is, played freshman baseball. Played pretty well. We had a pretty good team.
I remember.
Went into sophomore year, did a summer ball team kind of thing. Terrible sum. I got cut from the baseball team my sophomore year. And it was the most dreadful thing I probably ever even imagined at 14 years old. Just playing every single, since I was 4 or 5 and being around guys, and I kind of got overlooked. And that's not me personally. It's just thinking that I was better than everybody. I just felt like I just didn't get a shot. Mm-hmm. I never went back to play baseball in high school. The coach there just played his favorites, and I just didn't like him.
We're talking about the same coach here.
Yeah, we're talking about the same coach here. But it is what it is. And my dad told me, hey, if you want something, you don't give up. So he used to take me down to LA every Sunday and play. And I got on that tournament team with Tyler Glass now, and I played and played football the rest of my career in high school, and just kind of never really, now looking at it being 29 and kind of being a coach now is, I wasn't the hardest worker, and if my parents always told me, hey, you need to get in the weight room. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't need it. So I got to a point where I graduated high school. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I never was very good in grades, but, I had a little bit of learning disability, but that, trying to make excuses for myself.
Right. Yeah. So I did.
I went and I jumped on went to Glendale Community College, and that was one of the best decisions I ever had. I went in and I talked to the coach, and he's like, hey, where'd you play high school ball at? And I said, I didn't play. I got cut. So when you tell a college coach, a junior college coach, you don't have any stats, they're not gonna even believe you.
Right.
So I'm sitting there in Glendale and I'm balling. I'm hitting the ball, and my gloves perfect because I could have went back in high school and played. I could have transferred, could have done a lot of things.
Right. That's what Ozella told me.
Yeah.
I talked to Canyon and West Ranch.
Yeah.
You should try those out.
But it was just demoralizing, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm sitting in a baseball field, and coach comes up to me and goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You played football before?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I want you to play football. My dad's the football coach here at Glendale." I go, "Yeah, I don't want to play football. I want to play baseball." He goes, "Play football for me." So there goes Tanner, plays only two-sport athlete at Glendale in 2009.
Nay.
Started there at tight end in Glendale and played baseball. And unfortunately, I kind of got sidetracked. I got injured and never kind of went back to Glendale. I think that was one of the main thing. I kicked myself in the foot. I got sick and had like a ruptured spleen kind of thing. I had offers that I didn't know I had offers to until later. And then I started playing football for a semi-pro team. So I used to play with kids. Used to play for kids with cancer for them. And I didn't get paid, and it was just we saw the kids on the sidelines. That's who you play for. And unfortunately, I got injured in the last play, tore my ACL, and that was kind of it. So I've had 8 knee surgeries since, and it's been a wreck. But that's how I got into coaching. My buddy called me one day and said, "Hey, I'm coaching at Golden Valley. Could you help out?" Went over to Golden Valley, and kind of how it happened, and we didn't really have a good team. We had kids walking off everywhere, and then I got asked to coach at Valencia. Valencia then was a top-notch program, as it still is, and I got to coach my younger brother, and rest is history. Now I'm at Cass State High, and thinking about it on the way over here, this is my 10th year being in the high school realm of things. And
cool.
How I kind of coach is, I learning from a lot of people and growing up, the way my parents taught me is I tell the kids or tell the parents, I'm going to teach your son how to play baseball, but I'm also going to teach your son how to be a man.
I love it.
So we were talking earlier, how to shake someone's hand.
Shout out Josh Miranda.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's huge, and a lot of kids like, okay, whatever. But, it's now fist bumps. It's eye contact and how you shake someone's hand. Maybe not now because of what's going on in the world, but when you're able to do it, that's what you do. And it's respect. Right. It's yes, sir, no, sir.
I can't tell you how many times I just go shake any person's hand. Yeah. You have a great shake here, son.
Yeah. And they don't, and some of the parents get it. And the old school parents get it. Like, you know what? But I don't really care about wins and losses at the end of the day. If I can teach a kid a sport or how to throw right, or that's the kind of thing that I do. Walk into the grocery store, walk into the mall, "Hey coach, how are you?" And me personally, sometimes I don't even know who it is because it's been doing it 10 years, but I'm doing good. You were the best coach. You don't get paid
awesome.
a lot. You don't get paid, but that's better than money. So we're a brand new program, and we only played 7 games last year because of COVID, and we went 5-2, and
cool. It's
just the kids mean a lot to you, and I don't try to cut a lot of kids because I felt how I felt when it happened, and sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. But I like to keep a lot of guys because you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going on in their life. Yeah, and I still see that coach, and he still doesn't give me the what's the kind of word, I guess it doesn't give me the respect, but it is what it is, and it's been 15 years since that's happened. Yeah, but you want to hold the grudge, that's fine. Yeah, but coaching for me is I've done a lot of things in my life. I've gone to the studios and work. I've been laboring. I've done everything, and my passion is coaching kids and making an impact on someone's life. And I don't have to be rich, but if I wake up every morning and I can make an impact on somebody, and that's what I like to do, man, I can throw BP every day, dude. I can go cut grass. I'll cut everybody's grass in a straight line. Yeah, but that's just how it is, and it's humbled me. It's hard work for a lot less money, but that's, like I said, it's not about the money, and it's rewarding. I like it a lot.
Helping people, is just at its core one of the most rewarding things, and especially the next generation. Yeah, the ones that might not have the guidance, like you said, might not have the best home life, things that are out of your control, even that you might be able to just benefit or bless their life.
Yeah, and especially, right now we only have freshmen and sophomores, and that's a huge time in a kid's life.
That was
right?
going to be my question. You guys started with both, or was it
No,
just
just
freshman
freshman.
class? So this year coming
It's
ensuing
freshman,
is
yeah.
freshman, sophomore now,
Yeah.
right?
And
Okay.
I think that's a huge, again, you take yourself back and being, 29 is still kind of young, but being in that kind of demanding, role it's a huge role in these kids' lives. And there's a lot of distractions and social
Mhm.
media and vapes and alcohol and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you just try to teach them, it's okay to fail.
Yep.
If you fail, there's no more failing after you fail.
Right.
All you have to do after you fail is succeed.
Yeah.
And I tell, it's funny you brought up LeBron. I was actually on social media before we left here, and he was talking to a group of kids, and he was saying, some of the best guys were off the bench. Some of the best guys, Hall of Fame guys, maybe not Hall of Fame guys, but best in the league, were off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think, you got to take a role.
Yep.
And if you don't like the role, then go play tennis and golf, because that's a one-man sport.
Right. Exactly.
So if you want a role, embrace your role, and that's how you become a team. And that was a really cool, powerful statement to share with the kids, because they're like, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear, and it's cool to see these kids. I coach Keston Hira, and he's in the big leagues, the Brewers, and it's kind of cool to see that.
That's so cool, man. Yeah. To just take that and to grow. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than that. I love to see it. That Brian Polonese, one of my best friends, is the basketball coach over there at Castec now. So he's kind of giving me just run-ups on like, yeah, we're getting that secondary like grade going in now.
Yeah.
So I asked him about you, and he's like, oh yeah, I've seen him over there. So I was like, that's so cool. I've played with him since we were 10 years old.
It's a lot of the principals from Hart, and everybody is the coaching.
I heard there's a lot of Hart people there.
Yeah, Levi's the head coach. Levi, he went to Hart, and
Levi and Brian.
I went to Hart, and a lot of the faculties from Hart.
That's cool.
So it's kind of like a little class reunion type thing. So
wow.
It's a family, and
okay,
it's the, I guess they say the Coyote way. But a lot of people ask me, when you have kids, are you going to coach them? And I always say no, but they say why, and I said I've always grown up as my dad is he's been in the outfield. He doesn't sit where everybody else sits. He sits in the outfield. He has his ice chest full of his beer, and he watches his son play. But when I get back into the car, and a lot of kids nowadays realize, is when I got back in the car, I always was told that I didn't play good. And he told me when I got older that was a tactic, because he never wanted me to think that I was better than what I was.
I love that.
So a lot of nowadays, you get into the car, and Joey, it was the umpire's fault. Joey, it was the catcher's fault. It was your coach's fault. So that's the kind of thing. So will I coach my kid? Probably when he's younger, but I want him to learn it's dad and then a coach.
Right.
And put him through that kind of a way, knowing that I'll always be there watching him, stuff like that. But he's got to learn from a different aspect.
Like if it ever got to a point where he said something and it was no longer not corrective, but educational for you, but it kind of struck a chord and he knew he went too far, he would never make you feel bad. So it's not like parents are grilling these kids. That's what's so soft about the snowflake generation. It's like everyone got their participation trophy, and like you said, it's the umpire's fault. Or, man, I see you practice, Joey. Like, you guys are always doing that. Something must have happened. It must have been the dirt in the field, and that's why I love that, man. It's to just let you know. And that's what's tattooed on my hand. Is the name of this podcast is Kaizen. Is finding a way to always get better. If you are always high on yourself, then when you come across someone that can go higher, it's going to be defeating. Or let's say you are the highest flyer. When you hit a low point, because you don't know how to hold yourself afloat, you're going to ride your high. You're going to ride that low. And it's going to be really hard. And what I learned, and I wish I learned it in sports, I learned it in sales after, was, to stay even keel, is to not overpromise, right, things and fail, but to underpromise and overdeliver, and to stay even keel, knowing that someone will probably be better than you out there, to stay working hard to outdo that person, and to always understand that, like, look, like, as long as you put that effort in, you're going to get better. But if you tell yourself you're already there, or I'm great, or this is easy, and I was going to make a point earlier in the cast, you're talking about guys being on a competitive team and stuff, and it's almost those guys that weren't on that stacked and loaded team that was just the guy on that team, and you were saying like failing, and like they'll fail their entire life. They never they weren't a top 10 team in Cooperstown. They weren't a USSSA ranked team. They weren't, a Triple Crown threat. They kind of just played. And then all of a sudden they hit a growth spurt. They put their mind right. They never stopped working. They outdid you, and now they're better than you were. And you're like, wait, I've always been better. And then they hit that plateau, and it's just like, because they put it in the right work at the right time, and they never let themselves get too high, too low. I'm on the best team. That was one of my things. We're on the Storm, right? And so it was just like,
that's a good team,
dude. We're number one in California at one point when we beat the Yorba Linda Aztecs. We're like, we're the number one. So no matter what tournament we rolled up into, it was just like, all right, y'all have to beat us. And then when we would get silver in a second, it was like, oh shit. All right, you know what I mean? It was like humbling, defeating, and so
that's a very humbling experience. But my parents have done a very good job of instilling that,
Cool.
and my dad and Jesse's, the way that he grew up and how he raised his family, I owe him everything, So, that's how I coach. I tell the kids, I love you, but I'm like an uncle, not a father.
Oh, I like that.
So. Yeah,
my uncle, not a father. Still got the respect like his family.
Yeah,
but
I respect you. I love you.
But I can talk to you a little different.
I'm not gonna raise you, but I'm gonna love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be your uncle.
Yeah, man,
So,
I like that.
There you go.
Well, molding these kids' minds, next generation at a time. Thanks for being here, bro. I just started my interviewing. I know you've been talking to me since I was just dabbling in videos, trying to get comfortable talking in YouTube, freaking 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I just starting this,
it's
first
awesome.
few
Thanks
interviews. I'm learning where to set everything up and how to get it going. But I appreciate you coming through, catching up. Most of the stuff, like I said, I didn't remember some of the stuff we've been talking about, going through like we
can sit here for probably 4 hours and talk about things.
The tickets at heart for the foul balls. That was probably my biggest takeaway, that I was like, oh my God, I remember.
Yeah.
But I appreciate, do you have anything you wanna share? I mean, anything to leave with, maybe just a note, or like, screw you Dodgers or something.
Screw you Dodgers. No, I think they're winning right now anyway.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I just be positive and be humble. That's all I got.
Be humble. I like that. Well, guys, again, we're here working hard, just sharing stories and giving many of you maybe just different perspectives on things you're going through. This guy here has been a hard worker since I've known him. He's a stud athlete, but he's got a big heart. And no matter what's happened to him, whether it be surgeries, whether it be just anything in life, he's always come right through, and he's always been the same person. So I respect you for that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. And till next time, you guys, stay frosty.
All right.